Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another trading recap. So today, it was a bit of a tricky day. I didn't trade the best, I didn't trade the worst. I ended the day plus 34. I gave about 30, I gave 30 bucks off the top. And there was going to be two trades today that I missed, and I'm going to go over in this, and yeah, I'm a bit frustrated about that, but we're going to go over it, and it's just it's the learning process, part of the learning process. Getting up this morning, the markets were down, I think about 0.5%. And then they ended up kind of just trading sideways, pivoting up and down for the rest of the day. Talking about the indices, we hit NASDAQ, SPY. Other than that, gap scan wise, it was pretty weak. Looking at the gap scanner, there was only, I think, 3 things that I pulled from it and put in my watch list for today. The leading gapper being OLB. Now this was a trade that I'm gonna pull over from the live from today and go over, and it was a trade that I missed. Looking at the chart right here, it's false breakout, and it was a bit disappointing to see because we ended with this false breakout candle on the first candle of the day. So we've got 11 million shares of volume on this red candle, so it looks terrible. And we ended up just fading throughout the rest of the day. We had one try at view up here, but it rejected hard. So anyway, yeah, this is the first trade that I'm going to be going over. I'm going to pull over the recap from today so we can go over it in real time. My idea when I was looking at this was I was either going to go for the dip and the rip. If it was going to dip, hold, and hold strong, I was going to buy in and look for the retest of highs or break of new highs. And if it just was going to go off the open, I was going to look to take a quick long from high of day, which at this point was 246, to 250s, or potentially this line right here, which is 254. And I pulled that off of it was a daily resistance right up on this candle here. And when it opened, it did a very nice dip, but for some reason, I just looked at it and let it go without me, and I got to get to the bottom of that. So if we're going to play it here, this level, we have about 10 minutes or 10 seconds here till market open. And I'm looking for this thing to either go straight up, and I'll buy in for the gap and go, or the dip and the rip around this resistance level here. So let's watch. So market opens right there. Volume starts coming in. It's holding, can't hold right away. And here's this dip. It's going to come in right there. Hits 38 and pops right back up to 40. If you look at the bids, it's holding 39, 40. It's holding 39. And then we flash down for a second to 38. Gets back up, 39, 40. Holding, 41. And there's 42, and then once it's 42, there's the breakout. And that was a good 5 to 10 cent trade, depending on where you took it to the profit target. And so why didn't I hit the buy button? Let's go back again. Market opens. Volume's coming in. Dips down right to this previous support. And it hits 38 and it bounces right away back up to 40. And then we'll come back down and retest that low for just a split second, 39. 38, right back up to 39. And then once it's 40, 41, and then 42 should have been my immediate buy right there when it started turning green on the bids. And then from there, it ripped. So if I got in 42, I'd probably be hitting the sell button at 48 towards 50. So yeah, a good 6 to 8 cent trade for sure if I would have capitalized on that one. So I left that one on the table. And then immediately I felt bad. I felt kind of hard. I was being a bit hard on myself for missing that trade. And then I was playing it a bit timid. For some reason today, it was a beautiful Monday, but I was feeling my nerves a little bit. So for some reason I was just a bit hesitant. So yeah, this is going to be a trade miss, but I'm going to have this in the back of my mind for the future. Next trade. I should mention, after this one, I took no trades on OLB for the day. The bulk of my trading ended up being on Nerve. I took 5 trades today, 2 break-evens, I took 6 trades, 2 break-evens, 3 greens, 1 red, and the 1 red gave off about half from the top. But the green trades were small. I mean, this was a $12 stock, and I was getting only like 4, 5, 6 cents. Because like I said, I was playing it timid. I was playing it, yeah, I wasn't being confident. I wasn't trusting my analysis. And then this is gonna be the second one from today that I'm gonna botch right here. I had this drawn in before it broke out of this descending resistance right here, and when it broke out, I missed it, and then it broke over this candle right away, and I was, man, this one makes me frustrated because if I would have gotten in on my original, then I wouldn't have felt like I was chasing it here, and maybe I was holding up towards these levels or selling and taking some profit and looking to get back in. But instead, I ended up missing this entry here. And then when I got in here, I felt like I was kind of chasing the breakout, and it was looking a little sketchy. And I ended up just taking like right here. It was just a 4 cent trade. And again, that should have been. I mean, that could have been easily 30 cents if I was trusting my analysis. Another thing I should cover real quickly is the trade that I gave $30 off the top on. AHI. This was one that was on the gap scanner. I ended up getting rid of it because it was like, I think it was under $1. Yeah, looking at this morning, it was 80 cents. There was like no volume pre-market, so I really wasn't interested in trading it. And when it started moving, it was off my radar, so I didn't even see it through any of this move. But pretty nice move from 83 cents to $1.42. Pulls back, and then when it got locked up in a halt here, that's when I saw it on scans and I jumped on to see what I could do out of the halt resumption. So looking at the halt resumption, it halted here at 11:33, and it came out, opened higher. So looking at the chart now, I mean, this was a pretty ugly red candle, but it did give a decent dip and rip opportunity, but I got shook out of it just a second too soon. But on these halt resumption trades, I would rather have the bailout or breakout or bailout mentality than holding for just a second longer in case I'm going to, miss the break, because these things can be very volatile. So it opened here, and it pulled back to about 44, pulled back another cent or two. And I got in, well, actually, first, yeah, I pulled back to 44, 45, and that's where I bought in. And then it pulled back another couple of cents, and it hesitated, and it held around this level, but I got worried that it was just going to be a straight flush. And so I ended up bailing out here at 42. It ended up basically being right at the bottom of that pivot where it ended up dipping to, and then it ripped from 42 to 54 before then flushing down. So if I would have been holding just a second longer, I could have captured some profit on this and not given 30 off the top. But I mean, $30 risk on a halt resumption trade is not bad. I'll take that loss. Because this easily could have paid out double to triple of that if I was holding and it went to plan. So good lessons to be learned from today. It was a bit tricky. I know today definitely was not the best day for momentum, not the best day for follow through, especially with OLB being the leading gapper fading right off the open. It's always a bit of a bummer to see. So yeah, I'll close the day plus 34. It was a good day. I'll be back tomorrow to trade again. Hope everyone's green. Hope everyone stayed safe. And I'll be back streaming and with another recap.